Well, Mr. Nell, was there any major weapons changes from the World War II to the Korean War?
The only weapons changes were maybe from the aviation side, where jets were first introduced by the Germans in combat at the tail end of World War II. But the infantry side, nothing really changed at all, maybe for a few exceptions. Number one, the World War I, people much know the M-1 carbine. Well, during World War II, a lot of troops who were issued the carbine complained about, well, there was no bayonet lugs on the carbine. A lot of troops just jury-rigged something to that way they can put a bayonet on the carbine because it wasn't really meant to be used as an infantry weapon. But infantrymen, especially in the Pacific side, it's lightweight, 50-round capacity, and had a decent killing power up to 300 yards. So by the time the Korean War came about, bayonet lugs were starting to be seen on the M1 carbine. They were basically came about during the tail end of World War II, but didn't see any service at all. Another thing was there was some select fire versions of the M1 carbine, meaning that it could fire both semi or full automatic. Some say the introduction of the Sturmgewehr 44 influenced somebody to say, let's see if we can make the M1 carbine a select fire weapon. And they did. They made it. They did make a select fire version to fire full automatic. Again, at the tail end of World War II, it never really saw any service. And another thing was the introduction of 30-round magazines. Originally, it was equipped with the M1 carbine was equipped with 15-round box magazines. And then the 30-rounders came about because of the introduction of the Select Fire M2. They had to kind of strengthen the magazine well of the carbine because the 30-round mag is kind of a little bit heavier than the 15-round mag, so they needed to kind of strengthen the magazine well. And basically, in terms of infantry weapons, the only other one I can see that was different was the introduction of larger caliber, shoulder-fired rocket launchers, people known as bazookas. During the Second World War, our people known as bazookas, they were like within 50 to 60 millimeter in caliber. They could knock out, well, they weren't, even though they didn't knock out the German panzers, you can disable them with a mobility kill, hitting the treads or hitting the very soft sides. But when they're up against the T-34-85s, it just didn't have enough explosive power even to penetrate the side thinner armor. The most they can get from the 60 millimeter rocket launchers were a mobility kill on the treads. Again, on the tail end of World War II, these 90 millimeter bazookas or rocket launchers were finally introduced. The United States forces had captured some German copies of the bazookas known as Panzerschreck. They were 88 millimeter in caliber. They said, well, basically the Panzerschreck was a copy of captured American bazookas. So it turned about, as, okay, let's do what the Germans did with their Panzerschreck and up the caliber up to 90 millimeter. And then when the 90 millimeter bazookas were introduced during the battle or the Pusan perimeter, they had enough explosive power to knock out, do some kill shots on the T-34's thinner side armor.
Wow. Is it a two-man crew for a bazooka team?
Yes, it's known as a crew-served weapon. You have a gunner and you have a loader.
And how many rounds would they carry? Were they heavy?
It depends on the situation. The loader can carry anywhere between 4 to maybe half a dozen. I mean, they're kind of weighty.
All right. Well, I learned so much, and so doesn't Goober here. Thank you, Mr. Nell, for your time and helping my channel grow. Stay safe, be kind, and be courteous, everyone, and visit the Maryland Veterans Museum in Newburgh, Maryland.